What's up, guys, and others? Welcome to my, I think it's fourth stream. Um, so, so the Dodgers won the World Series, and I'm pretty happy about that. I'm gonna be talking about that and the game yesterday, the Jets versus the Texans, which I predicted the Texans would win. Oh boy, lot to talk about there. So let's just get into it. Uh, First, the World Series. The Dodgers um, really closed the door in Game Five. We went down 5-0, then came back to win it 7-6 with Walker Bueller and others closing the door in the last couple. Blake Trinan closing the door in the last couple innings. Um, when watching it, I I think I tweeted this, but I was like, my heart literally just about stopped in those last three um, last three innings, um, especially the last inning with Walker Bueller. We were only up 1 run, and I was just like, come on, please don't let up a home run or anything else like that, because the the Yankees, the one thing they could do that night was hit homers, and they hit a bunch of them. Um, yeah, I felt like in the beginning I was thinking, "Hey, what's happening? Like, why are we went down 5 runs to nothing like that?" And poor Jack Flaherty, he he just didn't have his stuff tonight. Like, it didn't seem like his stuff was working as well as it did before, and like they jumped on him. It was 3 runs to nothing at the end of the first inning, and then it was four to nothing at the second inning, and then they got 5. Um, and the Dodgers had to scramble to put in relievers, and we we used all of them. Excuse me, but we used all of them. Um, Hopefully, for and just to win this game, to make sure it doesn't go back to LA. Um, like I was saying last time, where it's that pendulum swinging. Like, you can't let the pendulum swing too far, otherwise you can't you can't stop it. And then it was just like, oh hey, we just need to after the 5th inning. I know Yankees fans will be like, oh no, anything but the 5th inning. But the 5th inning happened, and I was like, before that, I think Stanton hit. It was still 5-0. Stanton hit a long fly ball, and my brother and I were about to like turn off the TV because it was just like, I think the bases were loaded or something, and my brother and I were about to turn off the TV because we were like, uh, why are we even watching this? We're gonna be down like 8 or 9 to nothing. There's no way we'll be able to get back from this, but it was a fly out, and we stayed in the game. We put in Blake Trinan, I think, in the last out of the 6th. He pitched the 7th and 8th. I think that's what it was, and he pulled out the win. Uh, I'm proud of this team. I'm thankful that we like went all the way this year because otherwise everyone was like, "Oh yeah," choking choking in the off season. Uh, it's a Dodgers thing. So, these past couple years, I remember this one guy. He was like, when the Otani signing came around, he was like, "These effers will uh, still choke at the postseason," and I'm like, "What did we do to you? Like, why are you like what? Why are you talking about this? Why are you saying this about the Dodgers?" And we won the we won the World Series, and on to the next year. Hopefully, we'll get our most of our arms back. We'll have Glass now. Kershaw says he's coming back for another run. Um, Bunch of guys that were hurt are coming back. Uh, Yamamoto pitched his heart out in game two. Bueller pitched his heart out in game three. Flaherty pitched an almost perfect game in game one. Just so happy for those guys to get a World Series ring, and happy for Shohei Otani getting his ring the year he goes to the Dodgers. Nothing better than fleecing the Angels for a World Series win. I have the same mindset when it comes to the UCLA Bruins as a USC fan. Last year, we were looking for a defensive coordinator because Grinch just wasn't it, and I knew from the beginning he just wasn't it. I was like, dang, we need to get a better defensive coordinator because he's just not doing it for if he couldn't do it for Oklahoma, he can't do it for us. And so when the notice came up that we hired UCLA's defensive coordinator, I was like, I was laughing because I was getting dinner at the time, and I saw the notification, and I was like, it's so fun to pick on younger brother to win a World Series or to get a defensive coordinator. Even I didn't even care what we would do the next year. I would just be like, yeah, but we got your defensive coordinator, and you're not doing any better than us because they just fired Chip Kelly, and he was just like, who are they going to get? They lost their head coach and offensive coordinator and their defensive coordinator. The only reason they did anything that year, and I think it's a testament to what this year for USC has been about, and it's just like UCLA just doesn't stack up. Other than that, uh, Mookie Betts, his third ring, and then Freddie Freeman, his second. So glad to get those guys another ring. Clayton Kershaw, his second. Glad to get him another ring, an actual an actual ring. I always consider 2020 a World Series win, and everyone who was saying it's a Mickey Mouse win. It's a in the 2020 pandemic season, and I'm like, it doesn't matter. Everyone played the same stuff as us. We just won because we were the best team that year. Um, Look at the AL, like the best. It was still chaos over there. The Rays made it to the World Series, and we just beat the Rays. It was like if it was really this Mickey Mouse year, it would have been whoever had the first seed there, and we just won. It was a legitimate ring for Kershaw, but for everyone else, it's like, it was a weird season. It's a weird ring. So I'm glad we got him another ring to like solidify his Hall of Fame career. Um, he carried us throughout the early 2010s to 2017. It's only fitting that we help him this way, giving him another ring. Uh, Hopefully, we'll win again next year. Though there's no there's no real guarantees in MLB because they play 162 games and then um, 3 series of 7. So it's a lot different than the NFL, where it's only a couple games longer. It's a couple series longer, and that's 5, 7, 7. And even if you make it there, um, so hopefully we can stay healthy next year. Um, Hopefully that we can get another ring. But here's to fingers crossed and all that. Other than that, I think that's all I have to say. The World Series win, Game Five, uh, hit on a lot of the things that I really talked about last time, where we were just like, we have to close the door. You can't let them win Game Five and get it back to LA, and we need to step on their throat, which we didn't in the first couple innings, but then we did in the next four. Um, and we really won that game. We took the oxygen out of that fire. We stomped on it. It was pretty much like, I don't think the last 3 innings or the last 2 innings, it was just like they had no offense. Their bats went completely quiet, and once we went up 7-6, it was just like only a matter of time. Now looking back on it with a day of recollection and hindsight, it's like, because in the moment you're just like, they only need one swing. They only need one swing to tie it. They only need one swing to like a couple swings to go back on top. So, but I think that with Blake Trinan manning the helm, and especially in the last inning, his last inning, inning 8, I think that he really dug deep, and um, 40 pitches, above 40 pitches for a reliever like that is a lot. It's a lot of pitches for a reliever, and just glad that he made it through. That we won the game, we won the series. Um, Better luck next time, Yankees. Though not really, because I'm a Dodgers fan. But um, now on to the Texans Jets, which I was completely wrong about. I will admit it, because I thought the Jets weren't, like, their defense, not under Robert Saleh, was letting up 28 points a game. Their just was seeming to fall apart at the seams. The wheels were falling off the bus. It was going into a type of thing where they're just flying off the cliff, and it just seemed like it was gonna be like a a collapse of collapses. But they buckled up for this Halloween game. Um, they sacked C.J. Stroud 8 times. C.J. Stroud had basically no time in the pocket. He went 11 for 30, under 200 yards, and no touchdowns, no picks though, and a fumble. Um, and they scored 13 points. Um, it was just a the type of game where you're just like, dang, their defense really stepped up to bat. The Jets' offense was slow, methodical. They took a lot of time off the clock, uh, and they scored 3 touchdowns, which I think they scored on all of their touches in the second half because I think it was still 7-0 at the end of the first half. I'll look that up later, but just that Aaron Rodgers looked somewhat competent in his passes. The wide receivers still dropped passes. They still dropped easy passes. It was almost like this is a middle ground of where they should be. Like with all the talent, they should be right in the mix with Buffalo, maybe a little bit lower because I think Buffalo is still much better. I think Josh Allen is a much better quarterback than Aaron Rodgers is right now, but they should be just under Buffalo in that. And then where they should be, where they are as one of the bottom feeders in the NFL, and what they put out last night was kind of in the middle of that. Like they beat a Texas team, which is weird to say the least. Like they're keeping it close with really good teams like Green Bay. They scored. It took a last second field goal um, for the Green Bay to win that game. They got blown out by the Minnesota Vikings. It's just been a topsy turvy year for CJ Stroud and the Texans. It's just a weird year so far, and hopefully they can turn things around. Their offensive line has been really bad, to say it lightly. Tunzel has had a lot of pre-snap penalties, and the rest of the offensive line has not been that much better in pre-snap. But post-snap, it seems like Tunzel is not playing up to par, his usual lockdown left tackle, and then the rest of the offensive linemen just giving CJ Stroud no time to even go through his progressions, throw the ball, because I saw a bunch of times in that game where he snapped the ball and it has to immediately go off his spot, run to the right, run to the left, and try to make something out of nothing. And that's where DJ Reed and Sauce Gardner uh, come in because they're great cover corners, and it's just there's really nothing he can do because no one's open, and like he could try to throw people open, but he tries to use his legs, um, and then he hurt himself. Well, no. One of the Jets players tried to trip him and kicked his shin and hurt him. Um, and other than that, it was just a weird game. It was a Halloween game, and um, congratulations to the Jets. They played a solid game for once, other than the other bottom feeder in their division, the Patriots. They beat the Patriots pretty easily, but um, that it was just a quagmire in there, and a lot of people were saying that it was a trap game for the Texans, and I think that it really was a trap game for the Texans. But that it was just like, what can you do? Really, what can you do in that situation where the defense is playing all right, They weren't playing great without Will Anderson, and the offensive line was letting the Jets' defensive line through like they were in line for a TV ticket. It was just like, "Oh, you have this? Go ahead. Oh, go ahead. Oh, go ahead." It is like that meme where the um, the security guard wasn't even touching him, and he was just doing like this, and then go ahead, Whoop, go ahead, and it was just uh, but also CJ Stroud didn't play well that yesterday. Not making any excuses for him. Um, Bobby Slowick didn't coach a good game. It was a whole team thing where they could have won this game. They were up for most of it, and then they just let it slip away. Um, and then they had a chance to at least get 1 point down. They were in the red zone after CJ Stroud threw that 50-yard pass to Tank Dell, but they kind of like stalled after that, and they tried to kick a field goal to at least get some points, and then Fairbairn whiffed the kick, and that was pretty much it. It was 14-10, and then the Jets just went right down the field and scored a touchdown, and that was it. That was a game. Um, yeah, it was. Um, yeah, I'm gonna be totally honest. I'm gonna be a lot more wary picking the Texans now because like this season is a weird season for them. It's like maybe just the sophomore slump for both coach and player, um, and then they're gonna normalize next year. Um, kind of hopefully near the type of season they had the year before. Um, Hopefully, Bobby Slowick comes back. Uh, Even though he had a bad game this past game, that he's a good offensive coordinator. It's just one of those games where you're just like, what are we doing? you know, like there's not much you can do other than the fact that he tried to give CJ Stroud some bootlegs, some plays where he moves off his spot immediately and just has open field to either run or pass. Uh, and that worked a couple times. That worked in a play that Robert Woods got the 10 toes down challenge. Dragged the foot, toe drag swag off the sideline. And then I didn't really, I was in another room when the Tank Dell um, pass happened, but I can only assume that's what happened. Um, and it's just like he has to get out of the pocket. They have to move his platform in order for him to get any throws off because he got hit a bunch. He got sacked 8 times. It was just one of those games where he had he had little chance to make an impact on the game, and their run game didn't do so well. Um, it's just one of those games. Other than that, Jets win 21-13. Uh, and for the Texans, I don't think they're gonna lose the division because the rest of that division is really bad. Um, with the Colts going to Joe Flacco, and then the Jaguars literally they keep finding new inventive ways to lose and stuff like that. And then the Titans are just oh gosh, they're not good. Like the Titans are not good. Um, the only challenge they have is the Colts, which they already beat 2 times, so they have the tiebreaker. So, it's gonna be it's not gonna be easy, but it's gonna be easier now that they've beaten the Colts, 2 times, and, um, the the Texans just need to buckle up, buckle down, find a way to get a decent offensive lineman in their rotation, kind of get Laramie Tunsil back on track to where he was for the most part of his career. I know that people are saying that he has always had a problem with pre-snap, but try to try to coach that out of him. Try to do something because right now I think they're like 5-3, um, or 6-3, whatever they are. Um, it's like they need to do something. It's not just um, that they lost. They lost in embarrassing fashion. Yeah, that was embarrassing to lose to the Jets because the Jets they're just not good. The the Jets are just yeah. I don't think I still don't think the Jets will make the playoffs. But they're in contention. I guess they're in contention with the Bengals and the uh, for that last two spots. Um, it's just like I just don't think they can do it. They lost the Patriots. I don't think they could. I don't think they could beat the Bills. Um, um, they split with the Patriots, and then Miami. We'll see with Miami because Miami is in that kind of same spot where, like I said last time, they're in week 3 while everyone else is in week 9. Um, they need to catch up with the rest of the league and quick because when Tua got hurt, it was just like, oh no, you know, oh no, they just they just lost a bunch of games, and it was just like, oh Lord, have mercy. Um, yeah, I don't think the Jets will make it. Um, whatever Aaron Rodgers says, like I, I just don't think they can make it. Garrett Wilson is good. Devontae Adams is still good, but I just think Aaron Rodgers isn't what he used to be. He's 40 right now. Um, his body is breaking down. Um, Tom Brady's longevity is once in a generation, like once in maybe 2 generations. Like, I don't think that Aaron Rodgers can go as long as Tom Brady did. Um, even if he retires and unretires like Brett Favre did, like I don't think that's gonna. I don't think he. I think that Brett Favre was also younger than Aaron Rodgers was when he did that. You can. I can be corrected, but um, let me look that up because I just think that Aaron Rodgers is getting to his last legs, like one of his last years. Maybe this is his last year, maybe not. But I don't think he's going to make it. Make the playoffs. Yeah, he was he was about the same age where when he played for the Vikings. He was on the Vikings for like 2, maybe 3 years. So he was 41 when he retired, and like officially retired, like retired for the last time. So when he made the NFC Championship, he was 40, and like this has the NFC Championship, I mean, and he has to do that this year rather than next year when Brett Favre retired. And I, I just don't, I just don't think Aaron Rodgers has it anymore. Like he has the mental, but like Favre, like in the locker room, he's just not a locker room dude. Like I know that everyone says he's not a locker room dude. He's very standoffish and stuff like that, but he, I have to reiterate it. He's just not a locker room dude. It's not anything to say against his on field performance. He's really good on field. Like he's kind of the opposite side of the coin of Favre, where they both have the great productions, but he just threw less picks than Favre. But they both won one uh, Super Bowl, um, and even if he does make the playoffs, he's not going to make it very far. Because if one thing's true about Aaron Rodgers, he can uh, he can do everything he wants to in the regular season. He just doesn't do that well when it gets to the championship level. Like he plays all right in the playoffs, but then when it gets to the NFC championship, he just like even the year he won, the year he won with the against the Bears, it was just like it was he didn't play well. And it was just like what are we doing? He got past the Bears because the Bears are the Bears, and they beat the Steelers because their team was better than the Steelers. Um, I think he played pretty well in the Super Bowl, but ever since then, he hasn't made it to the Super Bowl again. Like, but other than that, it's just looking forward to Sunday's games. Looking forward to USC's game against Washington. Um, hoping that we win. Uh, yeah, like I think someone said the USC needs to run the ball. Like we need to run the ball more. Woody Marks is our best offensive player, and I tend to agree. Uh, we need to run the ball more, and off of that, do play action. We need to do a more pro style offense where we're running the ball, and then play action, or run, play action, run, or just some sort of like off the run. We do play action and then throw the ball downfield because because Miller Moss can throw the ball like he can throw accurately. He's just on his back most of the time. Like our pass protection is not it's not horrible. It's just not good. Um, they've been getting better throughout the year, but the reason we lost a bunch of those games, two maybe three of those games, is because Miller was on his back the whole time. Like with Michigan, Michigan, he was on his back for most of the game, and it was just like we almost won. We still almost won. So we need to run the ball more, set up the play action, do a more pro style offense. And I know, Lincoln Riley is all about the air raid, come off the run, like focused on the run first, air raid, like and I think that will work. But we just need to run the ball more, man. Other than that, don't have much to say. Other than that, um, next week, uh, yeah, next week It's probably the same schedule of Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 1, maybe 1:15 uh, p.m. and hope to see you there. Bye.